All right, so we just did this one. This center section right here, you're going to use number 3 on the tool for the very center. And that one you crimp first. And then this one, the back section, you use number 5. Okay. And basically twist your leads together, twist the wires together, slide them in, crimp number 3, slide the blue thing down so that it's in the right position to be crimped, and then crimp that on, and then you'll be ready to hook this up to this piece once they're both done. I got both red wires going into B, and push this forward and clipped it, and that's going to clip into the main harness. All right, so this is the fitting that it comes with if you're going to run just a push-on hose, and it provides the clamps you can use. I'm going to run PTFE hose at least towards the front. I know I already have this on. I may change this, we'll see, but for right now, for sure to the front, I'll be running a PTFE, and that was the Summit part number. All right, so we're mounting my bracket right here, kind of right in front of the fuel tank. I believe there was a fuel cooler or something right here before, but someone had a lift pump here prior, and I am putting my Kennedy pump right there. So I kind of lined it up, and I put my 3 holes in where my pump is, and my hoses are just going to go right behind the Amsoil kit. And then I just got a 90. It's going to go from here straight back to the tank. All right. So let me get this tightened down, and then the pump. Whoops, definitely not tight yet. Boom. All right, it's all tight. All right, we got our fitting 8-8 fittings on either side, and I'm still debating on this side if I'm going to do a 45 or a full 90. Looks like either way the hose will have to bend a little bit just to clear this to go around the back of it. Probably going to do a 45. I think that will give it the least bend. And then here we got that 90 that'll lead, go right back to the tank. So, and that's a push lock. On this other side, we're going to use push lock fitting right here to the kit supplied hose, fitting hose and fitting to the tank. And then far forward, we're going to build it out of PTFE hose. All right, we're down to basically just wiring and hoses now. Hard parts are mounted. So we're going to do the hose from the pump to the tank next. So we're going to use 2 fittings. We're going to use this 90. This was from Summit. It's just a 1/2-inch hose barb. And the factory, or the Kennedy supplied fittings. These were the ones that we're not using. That came with the Kennedy kit, but we're using our own AN ones on the pump itself. All right, so for the tank one on an LML, most other Duramaxes are going to use this one right here, which is the same as pretty much everything. Every Duramax, every Chevy. So this is the 1/2-inch one. 12.61 is the 1/2-inch. All right, for the LML, the Kennedy kit will send you this blue one, and this is for the tank side. So this is the rare 12 millimeter one that is just a little bit different on the LML sending unit than the other engine trucks. So we'll use that. We'll get this hooked up to the hose here. We'll put some oil. We'll get this hooked up to the hose here, put some oil on it. Slide this onto the tank, onto the sending unit up top. And then we'll route our hose, cut it to where it needs cut, slip it on here, and then tighten her down. All right, so up here on top of the tank, it's that middle one that you gotta take off. We're just setting this one to the side for right now because the factory hard line that runs all the way to the front is still in place. So we're just putting our lines around it for the time being. So we're gonna try to face this one up and push it on like that. And once we hear it click, push this down and that'll be locked in. And how to get that out. So once this comes in, You can't right now because it's not pushed back from the thing being in there, but you'll just push up on the blue things on either side at the same time, and then this thing will just pop up. You'll use a pick tool, pull it up, and then pop it off. That's how you would remove it, should that time come. Right about there. All right, that's all the way. Bam. Yep, I'm pulling it now. She's on there good. And then the easiest way would be just to twist this to get it off in the future. Pop those up, flip it back over, so you can get access to the top piece right there. Okay, that's all there is to that. Now we're gonna run our hose forward here. And it's definitely easier to remove the exhaust to do this, just so you have some space, but not necessary. The front one will come off so easy, and there's a good chance I'll never need to replace this back hose, probably ever again, at least during my time owning the truck. So I'm not too worried about it. So we're just gonna probably gonna zip tie this right here to this other hose, and then that'll be that. All right, so we got this one right here. It runs up back that way and over to that fuel sending unit. This is the fuel supply right here, and like I said before, the factory line is still in place. I haven't removed the entire thing. Well, maybe one day in the future I will. So we're just gonna push this to the side for this install. We're gonna use this fitting right here for the actual quick connect. Put a little bit of oil in those O-rings. Basically, you slide this on and then slide this piece over the line and then tighten it. And then this is permanently on there. All right, so that just slid on real easy. And then we got this, and I'm not gonna be able to show this. I need two hands, but this just goes back here and screw that on. All right, that's the finished product right there. Tighten them both sides, wrench on each one, tighten them. And that is now on there and ain't coming off. All right, get your vise out. I'm using my PTFE lines. If you don't know how to make those, you gotta buy the fittings. Watch a quick video from one of the hose companies on how to do this. Basically, you put it together and then cinch her down till there's pretty much no thread showing. And a vise is almost going to be required for this because these are aluminum. And if you just use two wrenches, you're going to damage the threading pretty bad. But you got to do one side so you can install it. I'm going to do this one is straight for the under the engine at the side of the valve cover. And then we'll drop our hose all the way down to the back of the truck and measure for length. Make our cut, undo this one, bring it back inside, and put our other fitting on the other side, and then put the hose back in. And then after that, we're just down to some wiring and an oil pressure sensor. All right, that one's locked in place. It's gonna be real nice. Problem is they built for these L mills, they built a pretty extravagant, hard and soft, a little bit of a hose, a little bit of hard, all the way back. And you'll have to take a very small cutoff wheel and just go through the whole thing to get rid of it. So I'll have to do that at a later date, but for right now, it's basically gonna run congruent or right next to the return and the feed, the old feed. We got it coming down right there. I need to get a zip tie or some kind of connector to hold it to that other line, just because I think that'd be a good spot. And then it basically runs along my oil lines all the way back. It goes right there. All right, so it looks nice, very durable with the PTFE line. Gonna be rust free with the aluminum fittings. Same with back there. That's brand new hose, so you know that's just rubber, but it's brand new, so it definitely should last another, I don't know, if it's untouched, at least 10 years or more. And all right, now we got to go up to some wiring. We'll do this and run it to the front. All right, guys, we're finishing up the wiring here. All right, so I have actually dropped a screw. Pro tip: put those through the thing and then try to drill, versus trying to hold this up and then try to drill and hold it in place. If you put it through first, it can't fall. Mine fell. I had a bolt fall somewhere. You need to have, this is a continuous power. An easy way to test that: one lead on negative. Get your probe. And there, you see it's coming at 12.5. And now, so that's your continuous power. This little tab, the tap, is supposed to go to a key on power, which I just did the test. All you do is key on and take your probe and dab the top metal contact of each one. And I just found out both these 20s are on once the key on is power once key on. So we're going to use one of those. The Kennedy kit sends this little bitty fuse tap. Nice to have them right by one of these two, because they do kind of stick up a little bit, especially with this thing on there. So once you put on his tap, looks just like that. You just slide it up over the bottom. We're going to put it back in here. And I know I checked both sides right. This left side, I don't remember checking the right side, because it will matter, right? Because it's only tapping one side of it. So make sure you put it on the, and as you can see, on this truck, it's going to sit just a little bit cockeyed, just because of the extra width that is to take in. But get it as close as you can, and then all you do is clip this thing on top, because it's, you just slide on, and then boom, power is secure. You can test to make sure power works by doing this. If it lights up, all your power and grounds are good for the box. And so now all I have to do is get my really long harness right here and go down to the oil pressure sensor and back to the pump, and I'm functional. Now, as you can see, this one is kind of a pain to get out, and I'm gonna hit it with an impact on this side. If you strip it, well, I guess you're having to remove the entire oil filter housing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this truck in the morning, get it up to temperature. I'm gonna shut it off, and then I'm gonna try to hit it with the impact gun. Make sure that high temperature thread sealant that's in there is nice and warm, and hopefully it comes out nicely. I tried getting it by hand from underneath with a 17-inch bar, and it just wasn't having it. So good news is this is pretty much straight on with a little bit of a wobble socket, a wobble extension down there, and then your 10mm housing. If that came off tonight, I would be done tonight, but not everything goes always according to plan, right? So, plus it's a little bit dark now, so I don't want to wake up everybody with an impact gun on this. With it warmed up, should be quick. All right, so you need to put in your oil pressure switch. The easiest way to get it out is to use an impact gun with an extension and run it right through there. See that hole that I just did? And that's it. So right through the inner fender. I suppose you could remove it entirely to make it even easier to access. But that's, and the plug just fell to the ground. So that's where my new oil pressure switch for this is gonna go in. And in hindsight, you take that inner cover off, everything's pretty easy access right there. All right, toss in a new fuel filter. Just because. Stock AC Delco. Plug in your sensor. Pump it up. loosen it till the air or the fuel comes out. If there's air hisses out, just tighten it back down, pump it again. Once it's a little firm, loosen it, psst, and eventually wait till some fuel comes out, and then tighten it, and you are good to go. Remember, this lift pump is kind of operates under vacuum, so you need to have this pumped up and tight for that thing to start pushing. Once it does, it's good, but make sure you do this first. So now that I'm good there, this is like a rock, real solid everywhere. It's not leaking. There's no leaks around any of the O-rings on the filter itself. I can put this pipe back in, and then the fender liner on this side back in. All right, look at that. I just primed it up. It's been sitting here for an hour. Just with the hand primer, we're sitting at just a little over 0 PSI. So we're gonna start it up with the lift pump unplugged. You know, I think it should go to about -4 inches or so of vacuum. And then we'll see once we kick on the lift pump how much up it goes. That's healthy with the new filter. All right. And that's idle with the Kennedy twin pump. It looks like to be just under 6 PSI. Now, keep in mind it's probably a little bit higher than that. There's my light, so I gotta know my lift pump's getting power. Now at idle, remember, truck right now is facing on an uphill slope on a drive, so I suspect if it's perfectly flat, you know, it might be a full 6. But as you saw before, it was over here, now it's over here. Kennedy lift pump, twin pump kit, plus new 1/2-inch hose back to the tank, -8 AN hose up to the engine, new fuel filter, and truck's running, and we'll go to work.